can I do for you, Rod? You just tell me, what can I do for you?
It's a very personal, very important thing. Hell, it's a family motto. Are you ready, Jerry?
I'm ready.
Just want to make sure you're ready, brother. Here it is. Show me the money.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I've been on the come up, running to the ones go. Boy, I got that one up, hustle when the funds low. Sundown the sun up, all I want is the cash. Now homie, run me the stash, put the ones in the bag. Now count up, count up, count up, count up. I'm talking 1 milli, 2 milli, 3 milli, 4 billy, 5 billy. I'm illy. I've been on the come up, counting money till my thumbs hurt. No Birdman, bitch, but I'm a stunner. Just watch how you run up. I keep a couple gunners. I've been grinding all winter just to flex all over summer shit. Wrist cold when I fall through. Rose go to my arm, boo. In and out of my city, but come whenever I call you. Who gon' love me more than when I'm stacking out on tour? Them hoes that made it past security, they knocking on my door. You gon' be there when they gone. Show my love by getting more. Hustle so you ain't alone. You won't leave me, that's for sure. I'm talking Benjis, Franklin's, all these hundos on my floor. I just broke a couple bands, believe me, I've been going hard. I'm tipping bottle after bottle, swerving model after model. Who won't cash? That's the motto. Spend it like I hit the lotto. Yeah, I'm loving my life. I know that I ain't shit without you. Actions speak louder than words. They broke cause they just talk about you, huh? I've been on the come up, running to the ones go. Boy, I got that one up, hustle when the funds low. Sundown the sun up, all I want is the cash. Now homie, run me the stash, put the ones in the bag. Now count up, count up, count up, count up. I'm talking 1 milli, 2 milli, 3 milli, 4 billy, 5 billy. I'm illy. Money bag after money bag, I'm the man now. Play the cards that I was dealt and I ain't need no handouts. Fresh on every set, give respect. Mama out of debt, I got a new connect. We the best, homie, run the check. Wifey got a new bag, new house. You mad? We just doing us, feeling wavy, fuck a do-rag. This that no stress flow. Bobbing on my ex. She don't love cash, kiss my ass, baby XO. Thank you for that line, Mr. West, but I'm next though. Hey, you me the set, bitch, I'm blessed, sipping XO. For the love of money, I stay fucking hungry. I parted ways with the kitchen, that just wasn't for me. Every show they love me, now I'm showing love back. They ain't taking nothing from me, so I throw a couple stacks. You when I'm in your town, have some fun, blow it back. Fuck with me when I'm around, trust me, shorty, I be back, huh? I've been on the come up, running to the ones go. Boy, I got that one up, hustle when the funds low. Sundown the sun up, all I want is the cash. Now homie, run me the stash, put the ones in the bag. Now count up, count up, count up, count up. I'm talking 1 milli, 2 milli, 3 milli, 4 billy, 5 billy. I'm illy.
Yay! What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Welcome to the Alphabets Football Show. I am your host, Marcus the Alphabets, where we taking about an hour and a half, 2 hour long journey to discuss our favorite sport in the whole wide world, which is football. My co-host, Miss Bruce Willis, she's a little bit under the weather. I gave her some Diet Mountain Dew and a night off tonight. So I got somebody who y'all know a little bit here. We used to chop it up a little bit off the Richter scale with my guy William Richter. Off the Richter scale, Buffalo Bills fanatic. He's in the house tonight. He's gonna cover down for Mona for me tonight. We don't miss shows. If I ain't here, Mona will be here. If Mona ain't here, somebody will be here. That's what we do. We keep it rolling. I'm recovering. I'm a little bit hurt from last week. I was a little bit devastated. Dak Prescott's making it really hard for me. He's making it very hard for me. Some of the stuff he did, I think he cost me the game. I had 49ers fans all in my face talking crazy to me. I had fans from teams that didn't even go to the playoffs, or we beat their ass in the first round. They had a lot to say this week, but it's cool. It's all good, To the victor goes the spoils. But like I said, you don't get if you didn't make the playoffs, you don't get to send me memes and stuff like that. So you gotta, winners worry about winning and losers worry about winners. Okay.
Yes, sir.
What's up, Will? What's going on?
Doing fantastic. And yourself?
I'm good, man. I like your little setup over there, man. Them hats up on that.
Still working on it.
I was in that room. Me and Mona did a show there your wedding weekend. Yep. And it looked like you done kind of
recreated it, got back to where
kind of nice, very nice feel. So last week we had the wild card round. By the way, thanks for everybody out there who sent out prayers for Mona. I saw, oh my God, all you guys out there that sent out, prayers and all of that good stuff. I know some of y'all ain't that religious, but if you do believe in prayer and things like that, we appreciate it. Mona, I need her back here. You know what I'm saying? If not, I don't have nobody to argue with. So we got
I'll put up a good fight.
We got I know y'all think that we agree on everything. We really, really don't. No. If y'all heard some of the conversations that went on here, y'all be like, y'all would think me and her were enemies. But anyways, Will, last week, wild card round. Both of our teams were eliminated. Thoughts from last week? What
divisional round of playoffs? I had a terrible record. It just went downhill. It was just bad. I'm glad I picked the Niners right though. Everybody else I picked wrong. So it is what it is. Just a lot of bad football for some really good football teams, and some major letdowns from squads that should have performed a lot better. And I think that's what it was. But you're getting the cream of the crop at this point for the end of the year. And we're going to find out, and we'll discuss later on as a teaser what the benefits are and what these teams all have in common.
We definitely will. I tell people all the time, and when I say this, they kind of chuckle. It's hard to win Super Bowls. But you got to make it the playoffs first, and when you get in the playoffs, whatever, it's hard to win. But not just the Super Bowl part. To get to the Super Bowl, you got to make the playoffs, and when you get to the playoffs, whatever deficiencies that your team has, things that you might have been getting away with in the regular season, teams are going to exploit that. If you have a bad run defense, if your quarterback turns the ball over, if you're you can't stop the run, you can't run the ball, all of those things will manifest, and you'll be up out of there quick, so it's nice to have a good record. You're 12-5 or 10-7 or whatever, but if you don't, hey, Dalton, like I said, I am not hard to find. See, and you know what, Dalton? That is the difference. I'm right here. I had people like, Marcus, where are you at? Right after the Bills got eliminated, I was right here. After the Cowboys were here, I was right here. I don't hide. Every Friday since July, I've been right here in the chair. Win, lose, or draw, I'm right here. That's the difference between me and a lot of other people. So,
don't discount that one. Don't discount that game not getting shipped over to the overseas market for that one. That one can get overseas over in England.
I will tell you what. If Buffalo plays Dallas,
they do next year. They do play in Buffalo next year.
And then we'll play in Buffalo or in London or somewhere like that. I will make arrangements to try to be there. What's going on, Tank? What's up, Ace? Dalton, everybody out there. Please like and share the show. So you know how we do it. We like to give you some we got our matchups all done. We know what it is now. We got our Final Four. Kind of like we got our AFC championship. The reigning, defending AFC champions. I heard people talking really bad. Hey, Kermit, we'll see you soon. I saw that. You know, just like you gotta handle business first. You don't get to say, you know, we're gonna see you soon and making guarantees and stuff like that. So our first matchup, the AFC championship, we got we got the Bengals versus the
it's NFC first.
NFC first. So
they doing that one at 3.
We got 3:00. Our first matchup. They've been pretty much the best 2 teams in the NFC. Who said hey Kermit? They know who they are. I'm not gonna put nobody on blast. They know who when they said it. I was in their comments like, hey, we'll see you soon. That was kind of, I don't know. I felt like that was kind of overlooking, kind of dismissive, but 49ers versus Eagles. We're gonna do our picks here at the end. Great matchup. 2 of the better defenses in the league, if not the best 2 defenses in the league. Intriguing stories. Now this is 2 later round pick quarterbacks. No, Hurts was what, a second rounder?
Hurts was a third.
Hurts was the third, and Brock Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant. He was the last pick in the 7th round. And I mean, you talk about the defenses, you talk about just the weapons on offense. I'm going to tell you the link that keeps these guys all here together. So that's the first game there. We'll make our predictions here in a little bit. Do not forget, go into the Alphabets Football Show group and make sure you get your picks in. I owe Ethan Tweedy a hoodie. We still got people up in there that's still in there. Mostly everybody's 8-2, 7-3. We got some 6-4s. We got some 4 and 6s. I won't mention no names, but yes, there's really somebody that went 4 and 6 in the picks. So that's your first matchup, and then your second matchup, the AFC Championship. It was 2 a.m. You wouldn't have picked up. I saw you called me. I will give Ace his props. He did call me, but you're right. I was asleep. I was knocked out. And then you got your AFC Championship, the reigning, defending AFC champion, Cincinnati Bengals versus what? 5 times. Isn't this like year 5 in a row?
5 in a row.
5 in a row in the AFC Championship. You know, so hey, you know, I heard with the Bengals, they're a one-trick pony. They got lucky last year. I think we can kind of dismiss with that. We got to start giving the Bengals their props. You know, shout out to my guy Blaze Thunder Gabber.
Them Bengals fans are calling Arrowhead Burrowhead now. You know that, right? They're calling that thing Burrowhead.
Yeah. We're gonna discuss that. We're gonna discuss that. I see you in here, Blaze. What's up, Amanda Lopez? Amanda talked to me real bad, man.
She did.
Amanda talked Tito. Y'all 49ers fans. Look, man, y'all ain't got it. Amanda, Tito, y'all ain't got to talk to me. Dominic Askew, Toby Askew, my brother, you know, my little bro, man, them 49ers fans, they were talking to me real bad. Amanda talked to me real bad. A few weeks back, man. That hurt. But we're gonna give our picks here at the end. So make sure y'all, you know, stick around. We're gonna get our picks. I want to see y'all's picks. And again, like I said, make sure that you do your picks. Whoever has the best record at the end. Ethan won our first thing, but we decided to keep it going. I owe Ethan a Buffalo Bills special. I already ordered his hoodie. And if you want a chance to get a Alphabets Football Show hoodie in your team colors, if you've seen Mona, I had one made for her. It's a Pittsburgh Steeler. It's a Pittsburgh Steeler color. I wouldn't mind doing I don't want to really do a 49er one, and I damn sure don't want to do an Eagle one. And I've already done a Bengals one. Blaze had me make him a Bengals one. So actually, I hope don't none of y'all win, but somebody's going to have to win. So I'll end up doing that. I wish all of y'all could lose, especially damn 49er fan. But anyways, first thing we do our news and notes. We do our news and notes. We had a little bit, it's a lot of moving around. We had 5 coach openings. We had one today. Tess, just let me know when I got you. My favorite pairs up in the house. I got you, Tess. It would hurt me to make a Philadelphia Eagles one, but I will do that for you. Oh, if y'all want the bottles too, I don't know if y'all seen it. I had Mona had a Eagles bottle made for Gary. I don't like the Eagles, but that bottle turned out nice as hell, man. That turned out nice as hell. They really did. And I still got my Buffalo Bills bottle. I need to do a 49. Whoever wins, how about this? Whoever wins the Super Bowl, I will make a bottle, because I haven't done any of the bottles except the Eagles one. Whatever team wins the Super Bowl, I will make a bottle, and whatever it is, and maybe we could do some kind of giveaway or whatever. So I made a little friendly wager with my co-host and a little friendly wager with Ace. And I tried to tell you guys, man, people watch Cowboys games. Now, I didn't say why you watched it, why most of the country. There's a lot of that. Now, if you ask me that, is it because they're rooting for the Cowboys or because they want to say F the Cowboys? We won't dispute that. But I said that it would be the most watched game, and it was the second most watched game in divisional round history.
You know what the first one was?
I think it was the Packers.
The Packers and the Cowboys.
Packers and Cowboys.
Drop catch.
And what's the one common denominator in all of that? So 45.7 million views.
Cowboys suffering?
Well, that one there, we won. We eliminated Brett Favre, so I felt very good about that.
But that was the Des Bryant drop catch, was it not?
No, that was in 2000 and that was in 96. That was it's been 20 something years. It was like the Cowboys' last Super Bowl. They beat Brett Favre. So, people watch for whatever reason or whatever, and you definitely don't want to do a Cowboys color. Well, I don't get to. I'm going to do one for me. I mean, it'll be for me. But whoever wins the Super Bowl, I will make a Crown Royal. I will certify a Crown Royal bottle, and whoever the Super Bowl would. I hate saying that. So what do we got next? I hate it. The 49er one would look real good. Vikings announced they interviewed Steelers linebackers coach Brian Flores for their defensive coordinator job. I think he's interviewed for the Colts job. He's interviewed for the Cardinals job. I have my thoughts on it. And me and Mona, we've talked about this. I don't know how much longer Tomlin's going to be around. I think he's going to be the next head coach of the Steelers.
I don't disagree.
I think he's just kind of sitting around. I think he got screwed in Miami, and we'll see what happens. I mean, he's pretty much the Steelers defensive coordinator. I mean, I know they got him as a linebackers coach, but he pretty much, and he's kind of like an assistant head coach. I think he's a young and upcoming coach. I like Mike McDaniels, but I thought Flores got screwed. I think he's going to be a really good coach. I think they're kind of trying to blacklist him. I think people just kind of call him in just kind of to do a kind of like a dog and pony show interview. Oh, well, we're not, the Rooney Rule, and we are still, I think because of what happened, I think a lot of the owners, because some of these owners, let's keep it a buck, some of these owners are crooked as the letter S. I think some of them do have, and I think that's why Lovie Smith got fired.
But again, you also remember they get incentives now. They get draft pick incentives now for hiring coaches, not just coaches and GMs get it now. So think about that. Now your team gets rewarded with a third or a fourth round pick.
But you still got
It's no better, and it's not the best way to go about that. There are better ways of enforcing that, and better ways of making that happen. Absolutely. But no, I agree. I think Pittsburgh's basically just sitting on their neck.
I think he's a coach in waiting. I hope he is. I like to see. I don't want to see him go to somewhere. I think D'Amico Ryans takes that Texans job, and before the show we were talking about what would be the ideal landing spot. Brian Flores, I'd like to see him sit back. I think he's got a Pittsburgh Steeler hard-nosed type mentality, and when Tomlin steps down, I'd like to see him be the head coach. Here's your candidates for the MVP here.
There's a couple missing.
These are the top three, though. I think they have. I think there's five, but these are the three highest ranked.
The other two are Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. So where is Burrow on in this list? Because Burrow's got 12 straight. He's got 11 straight wins. He's carried this team. He's had a porous offensive line.
I think this week.
I'm not a big fan of it, but like I said,
I think this week will determine a lot of that. Josh Allen beat Patrick Mahomes.
Don't take that away.
Hurts was out a few weeks. Yep. And then we never had a wide receiver win. So there's nothing is written in the stars. Nothing is like ironclad. If I had to give my thought on who it's going to be, I would think that probably Patrick Mahomes. I think he's just kind of the, I think he's, I think it's pretty much Mahomes. Unless Mahomes just goes out there and craps on himself this weekend, I would think that Patrick Mahomes would be the MVP. So that's our MVP. What we got next? The next one, I think we got. So here's your Defensive Player of the Year honor. I'm a Cowboys fan, but look, like I tell y'all, I don't pull punches. I call balls and strikes. I love Micah Parsons. I think he's an incredible talent. I like Chris Jones. I like what he does for the Chiefs. But to me, this is all Nick Bosa, and that hurts me to say it. It hurts me to say it, but I mean that's just the reality. He's got more sacks. Now I will say this: Micah doesn't just line up as edge rusher all of the time, so that's a little bit tougher. But Nick Bosa just has been very dominant. Now I don't think he hit a sack against the Cowboys this week, but for a majority of the season, the guy has been dominant. And coming off an injury, he's been a little bit injury prone. He was very healthy this year and very productive. So give me Bosa in that. Do you agree, Will?
I agree. Chris Jones, he's been a phenomenal defensive tackle for the Chiefs. He's shown up like he has every year for the last couple of years. Micah Parsons is an all-world kind of defensive player. They line him up at defensive tackle, defensive end. They have him coming as a rush linebacker. They haven't seen him drop back in coverage. He kind of plays the kind of all everywhere. He doesn't play free safety at this point. Is the only spot he hasn't played on this field. But Nick Bosa has just been so dominant. Nobody can stop him no matter where he lines up at any point in time. So this one has to be Nick Bosa's award. It's nice to see Aaron Donald's name not on here because usually he's winning it every single year, but it's nice to see some fresh faces. I saw a comment earlier when we were talking about head coach moving over and how they don't reward teams with comp picks. I verified that they do as a measure that was approved by the NFL Players Association and the NFL and the NFL. Teams that lose a minority coach or executive to a head coach or general manager job to another team will receive a third-round comp pick for 2 consecutive years. If a team loses a minority or an executive to a head coach or GM role, that club will receive third-round comp pick for 3 consecutive years. So the teams that go hire them get comp picks, and the teams that lose them get comp picks for an extra year on top of that. So somebody like D'Amico Ryans, who's in San Francisco, Houston's going to get a couple of third-round comp picks, but San Francisco is going to get 3 years of comp picks. So yes, they do compensate these teams for going in as that.
And when you look at it, the 49ers and I don't know when this took effect, but they've lost their defensive coordinator 2 years. I mean, you lost Saleh.
That article was written in 2020.
Yeah,
So
he might have.
there weren't a lot of teams that were hiring.
Saleh and McDaniels
or GM. They have to go to head coach, GM, or like an executive position in order to get those comp picks. So there wasn't a lot of head coach movement that way. There was a couple last year.
That's really awesome. And like you said, Will, I totally agree with you. I like to see fresh faces. You know, we've seen Aaron Rodgers MVP for several years. We've seen TJ Watt and Aaron Donald the past couple of years. You know, it's really nice to see some fresh faces
it's like
here.
Comeback player of the year. I like seeing those fresh faces where you can see who's really done something different and changed the way the game is played and how they've created and adapted. Walter Payton Man of the Year award is another one I like watching and seeing who.
Yeah.
You see
People
some of the
do a
same
lot of
nominees
stuff.
over and over again, but you're getting a new fresh face every year. It's not the same guy winning Walter Payton every year, which is phenomenal.
So here's your final four quarterbacks by state: Purdy from Arizona, Burrow from Iowa, and Mahomes and Hurts from Texas. So, you can find players anywhere. You can find you look out there. This is what your scouting department's all for. You got
Allen, Rodgers, all those guys came from California. You get them all from all over the place.
All over the place. Marcus Mariota's from Hawaii. So, I mean, there's players out there. You got to look. And, that's what your scouting department. That's what your scouting department's for. So, congratulations to these guys. What we got next? We're talking about that 49er defense. Look, I believe in giving credit where credit's due. I was researching the 49ers defense. They have an all-pro, not a pro bowler.
An all-pro.
We're not talking about practice. We're not talking about practice. We're not talking about pro bowler.
No.
All-pro. That means you're the best at your position, no matter what conference. They have an all-pro on each level of their defense. It goes on the line. Fred Warner linebackers on the second level, and Hufanga in the secondary, the Troy Polamalu clone. I mean, these guys, this 49er defense is scary. They're really scary. Young, fast, aggressive. I was impressed with them last week. They gave Dak fits last week. The two interceptions. I still think we could have won the game, but it doesn't help when your quarterback throws two interceptions and just gives.
And they were bad ones. If they were tip balls or something different, that's one thing. But when you're throwing blatantly into coverage, and
it's like you gotta be careful, man. You can't just throw the ball, especially with teams like that. And this what Dak Prescott led the league in interceptions this year. Not in turnovers. Turnovers. That was you know who that the league in turnovers, right?
Josh Allen, and he only beat him by 3.
But when you turn the ball over, and like I said, whatever you do in the regular season, if you don't correct that in the playoffs, teams will take advantage of it. When you go in there and you barely escape the Houston Texans, okay, that's cool. You can throw 2 or 3 interceptions against the Houston Texans. But it came back a week later against Jacksonville. He did the same thing, untimely turnovers. If you do that against the 49ers, if you do that against the Eagles, your ass in the playoffs, your ass is going home. You cannot do that. You have to be judicious with the ball. So, they got a great run defense too, look,
this is the year for a bunch of people, but this is the headline. There's 4 quarterbacks. There's going to be 4 quarterbacks, 5 quarterbacks, as a matter of fact, out of this draft class that are all looking for paydays, and it starts this year.
Me and Mona, we did a Alphabet Spits. I think it was last year, called the Young Guns, and we talked about the quarterbacks. We've seen some of the old school quarterbacks kind of starting to fade away. We kind of, we saw Ben Roethlisberger retire and Drew Brees retire and Peyton Manning retire. We start seeing these guys retiring. You don't have many more years left of Brady and Aaron Rodgers. We saw Drew Brees retire. We are in the era of the Matt Ryan. He's about to be out of there. We got these guys, these kids these kids. It's a young man. So you got these kids coming up. The Joe Burrows, the Justin Herberts, the
you got Matt
maybe
Jones,
maybe the Tuas, and I'm not even talking about really like the Josh Allens even. I mean, these kids like Joe Burrow's 23, 20. I mean, you're talking 23, 24-year-old. Dak's like 30. I think Deshaun Watson's 27. I mean, you got these young kids coming off their rookie contract. They're about to get paid. And you see what Aaron Rodgers is making. You see what Russell Wilson's making. You see what Kyler Murray's making. You see what Deshaun Watson's making. And these kids are about to get up there. They're about to get paid, so
salary cap is growing now that they've got all the bonuses. They get the gambling money, the new TV contracts, and those are still coming in by the year. So for the next 3 years, there's new TV contracts rolling in over the next 3 years. And Prime just signed, so you're getting all that money. Like the salary cap is going to jump leaps and bounds here very shortly. Here,
I think it's over 200 million now.
I think it's like 211 million. I think is the estimate. The max is 224 at the end, but they haven't figured that official number out. It'll be somewhere in between, but about 218 is what they're suggesting. So we'll see. That would open up some room for some of these teams.
You're looking at one of the two players in NFL history with 3,000 receiving yards and 25 plus receiving touchdowns in the first 2 years.
Marcus didn't even get this one right. I got this one right. We sat there talked about.
I'm telling this guy here. We talk about the quarterbacks that are going to get paid. We talk about the Burrows and the Herberts and the maybe the Tuas. Lamar Jackson. Now, I did not know this. Lamar Jackson is younger than Stetson Bennett.
Yep.
From Georgia, who just won the national championship. And for whatever people may think of Lamar Jackson, he's going to get paid. And it may not be from the Ravens, but somebody's going to pay him. Right. But these receivers, we got these receivers that are coming up. We got the Jamar Chases. We got the Justin Jeffersons. We got the CeeDee Lambs that are about to get paid. We got some receivers, these young stud receivers that are about to get Jerry Jeudy. I don't know. I don't know if Jerry Judy's up there. I mean, he was in that draft class. I don't know if
Cincinnati wide receiver. All them Cincinnati wide receivers are about to hit a payday.
Yeah, so
Waddle's about to hit a payday. Like Waddle's getting ready to be right in that cusp for a payday. Like these boys are going to start getting.
I think right now the highest paid wide receivers, Tyreek Hill, $30 million a year. Quarterbacks, $50 million a year. So it's a lot. It's a lot of money out there to be made. So congratulations to him. The chemistry he has with Joe Burrow. We're about to talk about that. Next few years, teams are going to be hurting because they can't afford to keep that cast around. That's the thing about it. You look at these teams. We have 4 teams left. In the playoffs, and 3 of them, their quarterbacks are on rookie deals. It's different when you got to start paying your quarterback. Yep. We talk about the we talk about the young guns. We got these quarterbacks that are on their rookie deal, and they got all of this stuff around them. Okay, that's cool. You got Brock Purdy, 7th round pick, who's surrounded by all of this, so we'll see.
If it wasn't him, it was Trey Lance, and Trey Lance is that.
Yeah. And Trey Lance might not even be their quarterback next year, so we'll see. Like Meek Mill says, whatever you do, there's levels to this, okay? And we do the stats, passing and rushing and receiving. So it's every week it kind of changes because people get eliminated, So, I think Tom Brady was on there last week. I think this will probably be Dak Prescott's last week on it. So what do we have first? I think it's what do we got next? Here's your passing leaders, Josh Allen. And, it was a sloppy game, playing in the snow.
And he was playing from behind the entire time, so that's the reason why he probably led. And again, for what he did, he only had one turnover, and that was at the end of the game. And that was that one interception with about 5 minutes left to go, and that was it. That was his one bad turnover.
Yeah. I mean, it usually boils down to the guys that make the team that makes the least amount of mistakes, and sometimes one is all it takes. Not all interceptions and turnovers are the same. When you turn it over,
he played a fantastic game and a clean game, and he just couldn't get it done. It just was what it was. Like, yeah.
So these are your passing leaders for the playoffs, and here's your receiving leaders, man. CeeDee Lamb, he had an incredible 10 catches. I mean, just
Kelsey had 2 touchdowns and 98 yards. Like that's unheard of for a tight end. So
the two best tight ends in the game. I'm really happy. My co-host, she loves George Kittle. We've been debating on who's the best. She finally conceded Travis Kelce, but I still think she's got a crush on George Kittle. But I'm happy to see him healthy. He's had some health issues. And I think when he's healthy, I think he's top 2, no doubt about it. I mean, he got Mark Andrews, he got Darren Waller.
He's on the back end. Mark Andrews is on the back end. He's been kind of consistent, but the injuries are piling up. The things are just not going the same way as what they were. So,
yeah.
But you got a young crop. You've got some young kids coming up, and you got those middle tiers that are kind of progressing and getting used to what they're doing there. You got some kids down there, like the kid in Atlanta, and some others that are coming up. You got
Kyle Pitts. He had a down year. Darren Waller, he was
hurt, but Darren Waller was hurt all the time. And again, like there was a lot of them. Dawson Knox climbed.
I like the kid Hurst, Dalton Schultz, Dawson Knox. Yeah, there's some guys out there.
All those guys climbed up into that top, like that third tier, that second tier, kind of just. They're all battling to try to figure out where they sit in behind Kelsey, Kittle, and
maybe Andrews. And I still say it, and I'll say it again. The Cleveland Browns. You screwed up the pay chart on 2 positions: quarterback and tight end.
What about Philly's tight end?
Njoku. Really? With 33 career catches, and you make him like a top 4 paid tight end, right. And Deshaun, Mr. 26 sexual assault allegations, you make him what, the 3rd highest paid quarterback in the league? It's the Cleveland Browns. So it's the Cleveland. What we got next? The Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns could mess up a bowl of boiling chili. And here's your rushing leaders: Kenneth Gainwell, not Miles Sanders, surprisingly. Joe Mixon.
Well, we kind of saw that one was coming, but we kind of saw that was the case. It just the Bills' defense on the rush side has been terrible all year. We knew it from the get-go, and we knew that we saw it all year long. And that was the one thing that concerned us the most was, can we stop the run? At the beginning, when we had Von Miller and we could get you out of the game early and whatnot like that, the run game was being progressively stopped, and guys weren't busting our chops except for once in a blue moon. Once Vaughn left, it was just that's the difference.
I'm curious though, and I want to know this, and any of my Bills fans that are out there, do you think that Von Miller would have changed the outcome of this particular game against the Bengals?
I think he would have. I personally think he would have. I think him and Micah Hyde would have made a massive difference in having both of those healthy. If had Micah Hyde been in there, now you're having that ability to have Poyer and Hyde come down and start doubling Chase and him. And now you're putting it on Boyd and Hurst to win the game. And
okay, but what about the run game? But what about the run game?
But then you
that's what killed me was a run game.
But you're stacking up the box though at that point. You got 6, 7 down in that area instead of having just 4 and dropping your linebackers to help play coverage against the wide receivers. Okay. So now you're pushing those linebackers back up towards the line, and now you have 6. So now you've got somebody to account. It makes a difference. I'm not saying it would have changed the outcome in total, but I'm thinking it would have made that difference, and it would have changed the aspect of not being blown.
How many sacks did y'all have on Burrow this past week? Do you know?
One. But I think if we would have had him, we could have had 3 or 4, because now you're putting pressure. And again, if you go look back at the games at the beginning of the year when Vaughn was playing, Russo, and Boogie Basham, and all those guys were getting pressure too. Why? Because they're double teaming Vaughn for name only at that point. So now you're opening up the rest of the line, and Vaughn can line up the linebacker, defensive end, defensive tackle. You could stick him kind of anywhere.
I don't know if you put Von Miller. Von Miller's a little light in the ass to be playing defense.
Well, agreed. But they would line him up like that, and then they would drop him out, where they would send him in the bull rush right up the A gap.
Okay.
So, but you would have him all over the field, and you would be able to adjust him and shuffle him through. But that would bring the pressure because everybody's trying to double team Vaughn because they know what he's capable of.
Well, we got, we're going to have our shows, after we take our hiatus, we're going to start talking, that's when we'll get into our draft talk. We're going to start doing our mocks here. Me and, after the Super Bowl, me and Mona usually take a couple of months off, and then we start doing our draft stuff and talking combine and draft and stuff like that. What we got next? I think can we say that this was the pickup of the year? I'm trying to think for a mid-season trade. I think this was like right along the trade deadline. Like you had people move like at the beginning of the season. You saw AJ Brown go to the Eagles. But I gotta say, for a mid-season trade, I think this was the Von Miller trade to the Rams last year.
Other than Hawkinson going from Detroit to Minnesota, I think this is probably the biggest trade right here, because when Hawkinson went over at the trade deadline to Minnesota, that changed Minnesota's trajectory to go right through the roof, and they got better because they gave Kirk Cousins another weapon, and he picked it up real quick, and he was dominating up there in Minnesota. So I think that
it was a good 1,300.
It's a lot.
1,300 yards, so
yeah.
I mean, and the thing is, he's a matchup nightmare. You can put him in the slot, you can put him outside, you can put him in the backfield, and I think it takes pressure off of Deebo Samuel, where you're not putting Deebo Samuel in there, where he's taking a lot of shots. I like the hit that Donovan Wilson put on his ass, but it makes it where you don't have to give Deebo Samuel a lot of carries. And I think the 49ers offense is perfect for Christian McCaffrey because they're not using him like the way that they use him. Carolina was, let's face it, Carolina was running him into the damn ground. And yeah, Mona, I think that he could be comeback player of the year. I don't know if he's a lock for that. I think you'd also have to look at Geno Smith. I think you have to look at Saquon Barkley. What he did over there. He's due for a big. I think between Geno, Christian McCaffrey, and Geno Smith, I think those are your three. Those would be my three. Geno Smith. I mean, we pretty much thought he was a bust. So, we pretty much thought it was an absolute bust. Christian McCaffrey, we always knew he had the talent. It was just it's been injury. Same with Saquon Barkley. So yeah.
I'll give you some quick stats. I'll give you some quick stats for our Hawkinson trade. So he did play 10 games with Minnesota. He got 86 targets. He got 60 receptions.
Okay.
And he got 519 yards. So 8.6 yards a carry, 3 touchdowns, and he had 1 fumble lost.
Okay. So yeah, he's not even in the same ballpark as McCaffrey. 500 yards compared to 1,346.
Well,
12 touchdowns.
So that's running and
okay, 12 touchdowns.
And
you got 12 touchdowns.
But what did he do for Minnesota? He also added a blocking dimension to give Kirk Cousins more time. He also opened up the run game, which also opened up everything else, so that Justin Jefferson could have the season that he had, as well as Adam Thielen having.
And he got blown out, and he got blown out at home in the first round of the playoffs. And Christian McCaffrey is still out here.
Yep, he's still running.
I think that I like Hawkins. I like Hawkins.
I was just shocked that they did that, traded it within the division. But I think for shock factor, yes, that was. But no, I agree with you. I mean, Christian McCaffrey was probably the most
mid-season trade
that worked.
Geno, Barkley, and CMC are finalists. They've come. Yeah, I think those guys, no doubt.
And CMC has to be the front runner.
Yeah, but when you look at Geno, I mean, people thought he was a bust. We saw the talent of Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley. Their issue was just health. They could never stay healthy. I think part of it was just they ran Christian McCaffrey into the ground.
Well, I'm going to give you next year's comeback player of the year if he does come back, and it'll be DeMar Hamlin. And that will be the one that wins it next year. If he comes back to play on the field, even if it's I'm just throwing it out there. Throw it out into the universe. Something will happen, good or bad. It doesn't matter.
Okay. By the way, I'm glad he's finally out. Here's your teams with the most playoff wins. I talk about cornerstone franchises, those teams that are just, and then you have teams up there like my Cowboys that have not recently had a lot of playoff success. And I think that tells about how dominant that they were. I mean, you're one behind the Patriots, and I think they've won 3 playoff games in the past 20 years. So, the Patriot dynasty for those 20 years, the Tom Brady Patriots. And then the 49ers,
they've had a couple.
The 49ers, man, it kills me to say this, but it's just real. The 49ers are going to be good for a while. They really are, because you're not paying Brock Purdy. You're not paying Trey Lance. So that allows you to go out
and spend all the money you want on all the big stuff.
On everything else. On everything else. You can go make sure. And then, you could be like, you know what? Hey, somebody need a quarterback, trade Trey Lance. I don't know if you get a first-round pick for him, but there's a team out there. There's always a team that's hurting for a quarterback.
I'm also looking at that Steelers list. Steelers on the list. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. They're only going to improve from what they did this year. They're just getting better. They're recovering. They're not doing a full rebuild. They just needed more. They just need more time. They got a ton of young talent, and they're on their way up and coming. They're not going to go anywhere. They're just like Jacksonville. Jacksonville is going to be another scary team next year who's going to be extremely, and they're going to be very dominant for the next 3 to 5 years, especially in that AFC South where they're extremely weak at quarterback all the way around. It's going to look like the NFC South, but in the AFC South. How funny is that the 2 Southern divisions are the worst 2 divisions in this football league?
We saw what the Bucks. The Bucks, who were 8-9 and still made the playoffs,
and they were fighting with Carolina and Atlanta to the very bitter end, literally until the last 2 weeks of the year, where they had to beat both of them in order to basically win it.
Yeah. So you got to get into the tournament. That's the main thing you want to get in there. I know this seems like a San Francisco 49ers show. It's just, look, we're pointing out what they did. What's up, Q Ball? 12 straight wins, the longest win streak.
I'm also not going to be remiss to say that Cincinnati's right behind them at 11 wins. And so they're right there. I'm not going to hold anybody hostage or hold punches. So congrats to them as well. But whoever wins this weekend, it's going to keep that streak alive. And hey, Cincinnati, San Francisco, somebody's got to take an L at some point if that's the case. No
doubt about it. So what do we got next here? My co-host, he usually does the Did You Knows. I'm going to do the Did You Knows, and I'm going to do it without the heavy country accent. AFC Championship game has been featured. The AFC Championship game has featured Brady or Mahomes every season since 2011. So you got to look, man, the Tom Brady era. Tom Brady era over, probably so.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Mahomes era, 5 straight AFC championships. Look, man, it's changing of the guard. It's the changing of the guard. For a long time, Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady were considered the 2 best quarterbacks in the league, and now you got these young, the young guns. We got Burrow. Went to the Super Bowl in his 2nd year last year after coming off of ACL tear his rookie year. And you got Patrick Mahomes. And, I think you're going to we're starting to see some new faces. Jalen Hurts, he might go to the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy might go to the Super Bowl. We're going to start, you know, the Aaron Rodgers and the Tom Brady's and the Drew Breeses and the Ben Roethlisberger, you know, we got new faces coming up. You know, we need to start getting used to that. You know, I think the NFL is in good hands. So congratulations to Patrick Mahomes, what he's doing. I just think he's incredible. I've been called, oh, Mark, you got a bromance on Mahomes, and I get blamed for you know, Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert. But you know, they're two good young quarterbacks. Brian Dable. All last year, all I heard, Brian Dable sucks. He sucks. We can't wait to get, man, Ken Dorsey, he's going to open things up. He's going to be better. Brian Dable, you know, we talked about MVP. We talked about Defensive Player of the Year. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Give me your Defensive Rookie of the Year. Sauce
Gardner. There's
Sauce Gardner.
no
I think Sauce Gardner. But Brian Dable, Josh Allen, was known as a turnover-prone quarterback as a rookie. Dable then coached it out of him, resulting in an MVP-like season in 2021. Daniel Jones had NFL-leading 85 interceptions and fumbles prior to 2022. Now Allen led the league in turnovers, and Jones only had 5 interceptions.
Well, it helps if you have a run game, too.
Matters.
Helps if you have a run game. Helps if you have a running back that can actually take the ball away from you and don't have to run.
Did Josh Allen have a running game in 2021?
Nope.
Okay, so
but he got a Diggs in 2021. No, he had a Diggs in 2021, and he had some decent.
Okay.
He also had a Gabe Davis that was semi-reliable at that point, not dropping balls.
Oh, Gabe Davis reliable. He was reliable then.
Yeah, but not.
He was a rookie. He was just a rookie last year, right? Well,
no, he's a rookie.
That's technically 2021. That is that we're in 2023. We're the 2022, 2020. He was the 2021, 2020. Okay, I got you. So Brian Dable, you know, people talk about Doug Peterson, Coach of the Year. I could see that. But for me, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. I think Brian Dable, working with what he had. I saw, you know, I did a debate show a couple of weekends ago. They said Pete Carroll, you still got, you know, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, and you had, you know, Kenneth Walker Jr. Coaching matters. Give me Brian Dable this year. I think he's the Coach of the Year, in my opinion.
I'm torn between him and the Jags coach. The Jags coach basically had a reclamation project to basically reteach Lawrence how to be a quarterback and how to make sure that ATN, who also should be on that list for comeback player of the year after tearing his ACL last year and had the season that he had. So I'm torn between Dable or Peterson. Either one is fine.
Yeah, I would have a problem. I get it. So no doubt about it. Cue ball question: do you actually believe Purdy is a good quarterback that can be great? Or is he at the right place at the right time? Look, I think I did a live stream. I think it's a little bit of both. I don't want to diminish Brock Purdy. I don't. First off, it would sound disingenuous. Oh, Marcus, you're just hating on him because he beat your cow. No, he's a good quarterback. I don't know if he does anything. Outstanding. Like he's not a runner like Lamar. He's not a big bruising guy like Josh Allen. He doesn't have elite arm talent like Justin Herbert. He's not 6'6". You know, he's a good, solid quarterback who plays within the system, who's surrounded by all world talent. That's what I've been saying. And some people take that as an insult. It's not. I'm not. You know, I don't think this
has to be a game manager at this point.
He's
less than 30 throws. Hand the ball off to Christian McCaffrey, or throw screens and short passes to all these guys that have 4.2, 4.3 speed on the squad, and let them make the plays for you.
Yeah,
and then you have an all-world defense that's turning the ball over, giving you a short field. And then when you have that short field, all you're having to do is turn it into points.
Yes, and you got a good kicker too, and Robbie Gold. You know, you got a good. You don't have my kicker who's missing extra 4 consecutive.
And you would have missed that other one had it not been blocked.
Yeah,
had you not been blocked.
So yeah, I don't want to take anything away from Brock Purdy. Let me tell you something. We're going to do our picks here in a minute. And we're going to find out a lot about Brock Purdy this week.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to find out a lot about Jalen Hurts too, because I think this is the best defense he's faced. This the best. Look, the Cowboys held them to what, 19 points?
Yep.
And 6 of them were off of turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because Dak Prescott throwing interceptions. It's not like he played some outrageous game.
That pains you to say that every time, doesn't it?
But it's the truth. When you're not getting gifts and the quarterback from the opposing team is throwing the ball to you and you have to drive, like you said, drive the ball 25, 30 yards and score a touchdown. I don't know if that makes Brock Purdy like this great. He's good in that system. Now, and this is the question I asked everybody. Since we're asking, now let me ask y'all a question. If Brock Purdy, instead of going to the San Francisco 49ers, is drafted by the Houston Texans, how many games does he win? You think he's in the AFC Championship with the Houston Texans with the weapons that they have? If Brock Purdy's drafted by the Indianapolis Colts, you think he's in the AFC Championship?
No.
You see what I'm saying? So when you're surrounded by a whole bunch of talent, it helps. I gave the same example. I'm like, does everybody remember what Dak Prescott looked like his rookie season? It's the same difference. A low round draft pick on a team that's already built. You got an all-world running back in Zeke, of the number 4 overall pick. You got Dez Bryant. You got Jason Witten, future Hall of Famer. Okay, you got a pretty damn good defense. And Dak Prescott, for all you people that are talking crap about Dak Prescott, y'all are making me defend Dak Prescott. I really want to cuss him out. Dak Prescott, his rookie season was 13-3, folks. Okay, let's not forget he was 13-3. That was the Dez Bryant no catch game that they ended up chatting. Man, y'all are just my feelings. Anyways, the next one, the next game. What we got next? I don't want to talk. I'm about to leave. What we got next? But yeah, Brian Dable has worked wonders for that. We were talking about this before the show too. We got to start giving Andy Reid his props. And I don't. We talk about the quarterbacks that aren't going to be here much longer, the Tom Brady's. I don't know. If Tom Brady retired, I wouldn't be surprised. Aaron Rodgers, we don't know what he's going to do. But, we talk about, the elite coaches in the league. We talk about the Bill Belichick's. And I don't think that Mike Tomlin gets his props. No. I don't think he gets enough props. But Andy Reid, what he's done, taking 2 teams to the Super Bowl,
and won 10 games for each of these. So that's 20 wins with 2 different, that's 20 wins in playoffs. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, we got to give Andy Reid his props. I don't know
what happens if he retires in the next 2 or 3 years. Where does that put you now? Do you think the Chiefs succeed or survive the same way?
I'm going to be honest with you. I think. And this is just an opinion. This is a Marcus Betts, Alpha Betts opinion. I think that's why Eric Bieniemy's sticking around. I think he's been sticking around. I think he's been sticking around. I think he sticks around to kind of see. I mean, he's kind of just sitting. We talked about Brian Flores maybe replacing Mike Tomlin down the road. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see that. I don't know if that happens. But I think Eric Bieniemy's just kind of sitting back there and just sucking up everything he can from this guy. And I think if Andy Reid, I don't know how much longer he plans to coach, but I would think that the first person that would be in line to be the next coach of the Kansas City Chiefs would be Eric Bieniemy.
Here's a question for you. Did you notice that all 4 head coaches that are in the finals are not defensive-minded coaches?
Well, and that's the thing about it. In today's game, and my co-host, she's very defensive-minded. You've got to be able to score points. And yes, you got to have defense, but now you got to be able to score points. And if you're, Bill Belichick is kind of learning this. What's his specialty? Defense. And then you go out there and it's like Sean
McDermott's being criticized for that stuff. Why? Because he's a defensive-minded coach. He's a cornerback coach from the get-go. So you have to
that's what I'm
understand that.
saying. Like
He's got to find that offensive mind to make sure that you've
got to be able to score points. Bill Belichick, he's been known for great defense, for great defenses, and you go out and you just we're going to just put Matt Patricia as our offensive coordinator and score 10 points a game. Okay, that's fine until you're playing against the Bills and they beat you 45-12. Because you're trying to go 3 yards in a cloud of dust and Josh Allen is bombing on you and they don't punt the entire game. They don't punt one time because your offense is putrid.
Yep.
And you don't go get receivers and you go get
draft a wide receiver to save your soul. You can't draft offensive pieces to help.
Yeah, and you're starting to see, come on. I mean, as far as offense, let's keep it real. The New England Patriots in the AFC East, out of the 4 teams, where's their offense at? Out of 1, 2, 3, 4.
It really is dead last. The Jets have a better
maybe
offense.
30. I mean, who would
the Jets have a better offense with more weapons and those running backs.
I'm gonna take Buffalo and I'm gonna take Miami right out of there. Okay, that's not even.
The Jets,
that's just.
I'm gonna go the Jets.
Would you rather have Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Michael Carter, and who's the other guy? The other guy, Elijah Moore, or would you rather have? I mean, I like Damian Harris and I like Ramondre Stevenson, but the New England Patriots may have the worst wide receiver room in the league.
Agreed.
They may have the worst wide receiver room.
Cardinals might be right there once they lose.
Well, I mean, you have them right now.
Gone,
like who is New England's number one? Jacoby Myers? I mean, when you're a defensive coordinator, you're like, oh my God, man, what are we going to do with Jacoby Myers? How are we going to stop? How are we going to stop Jacoby Myers? No one's doing that, So in this league, you've got to be able to, and you're starting to see now, just having, we were talking about this before the show. Back in the day, we need a number one receiver. Well, you kind of need, when you look at the 4 teams that are left in the playoffs, you better have multiple weapons. You look at teams, that have a number one receiver. The Bills, you have a number one receiver. Double Stephon Diggs, you don't have a running game. You're done.
Tampa Bay has a one receiver in Evans, but they don't have.
They got.
Evans, they got a couple, but even then, what was their problem?
Dallas has one receiver, CeeDee Lamb. The Packers, when they had Aaron Rodgers and and Devontae Adams, you got one receiver.
Well, teams are just going to be only up there because Lockett is not a reliable target of any sort or whatnot.
You got to have multiple receivers. You got to have multiple weapons, whether a tight end, kind of like the Chiefs. You the 49ers with Kittle and Debo and
Ayuk
and Christian McCaffrey and Ayuk, and you can move chess pieces around. Okay, Frank Reich took the first snap in Carolina's history during their inaugural 1985 season and started the first 3 games in franchise history. Who was the first pick? Who was the first Carolina draft pick? I will cash app somebody $10. If you tell me whoever's the first person, I'll look in the comments. Who was the Carolina Panthers' first ever draft pick? Don't say that. Don't say nothing. Whoever tells me the Carolina Panthers' first draft pick, I will cash app.
I have it, but I want to confirm it before I say anything.
So now, he started the first 3 games for the Carolina Panthers. I'll get Ramona. You got it. You got it. I will cash app you $10. Kerry Collins, he was the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
He was their first ever draft pick, and they had an expansion draft too because Carolina and
that's how Frank Reich got drafted to there because he was part of the expansion draft. He was playing for the Bills still at 1995. He was Jim Kelly's backup.
No, they got another quarterback too in the expansion draft. You know who it was? Steve Berline from the Cowboys.
Yep.
Steve, Steve, 'cause Steve, Steve Berline. Steve Berline. Yeah. Steve Berline. Steve Berline. Steve Berline. Yeah. Steve Berline. Yeah. Steve Berline. Yeah. Steve Berline. Yeah. Because that was how they filled their depth chart. They had.
Yeah, because that was that's how they filled their depth chart. They had Him from the Bills, Burline from the Cowboys, and then they drafted
Kerry Collins was the number one pick. He was the number one pick. So congratulations. We don't have a slot up for it. Congratulations to Frank Reich. I thought he got a raw deal and he kind of screwed himself though. And here's the reason why he screwed himself in Indy. Because you said Carson Wentz, bring him in here and I can revive him. That's where you made a mistake.
That's where
Play along with me, everybody. Carson Wentz is not
a good
quarterback. Okay,
Matt Ryan at the end of his career.
He's not.
He's not a good 33-0 lead against the Vikings. Now, I also have a couple quick news things that popped up over the feed over the last couple of minutes that have popped over on my phone the last couple of hours, as a matter of fact. So the Falcons have a new defensive coordinator. They've signed Ryan Nielsen, the former Saints co-defensive coordinator. The Rams have hired Matt LaFleur as their new offensive coordinator. So if that tells you anything, does that tell you that play calling is coming out of the head coach's hands?
I think, he looked burned out this year.
He looked really terrible. Like he was considering actually retiring at the end of the year. I
thought he was gonna. They had a lot of bad luck. Again, that Super Bowl hangover is tough. It takes a lot out of you, and it takes a lot to get back there. And then you start having all the. You lost Cooper Kupp and Allen Robinson sucked. Then you had the Cam
goes down multiple times with concussions, and now you've lost him for the year. And Aaron Donald gets hurt.
Jalen Ramsey's kind of regressed. He's out there getting barbecued. Just getting barbecued every
The only
week.
other thing that we have is that there is an interview for D'Amico Ryan set up with Houston sometime late next week. Weekend. He is slated as the top candidate right now by NFL and Tom Pelissero. So just to give everybody a heads up, that's where we're standing. So D'Amico Ryan's going to Houston, and we were discussing this before the show with 11 picks and 5 of them in the top 77, and 3 of them basically first rounders and a late second and and an early third. Like, you're looking at phenomenal picks for this Houston Texans team, who has nothing but upside at this point, with a Houston Texans legend who played beside J.J. Watt at the beginning of the year. Like, he'd already been in the league 3 years before J.J. Watt came in. So to think about that and who taught J.J. Watt how to play the game, this guy is like a Houston legend. And I think that if Houston treats him properly,
it doesn't fire him after 1 year. It doesn't fire him
him the space. And I think this is where D'Amico Ryan steps in and goes, you know what? I want 5 years. And if you cut me any short of that, then I get a full contract guarantee of whatever you're going to pay me out based on the year. I get every nickel of it, like it or not. And I think that's wherein lies the issue. I think they give this guy the leeway, and they realize that we can't just keep firing coaches and get someone.
After 1 year, I mean, they fired David Culley 2 years ago, and then you just fire, and then and I thought what they did for Lovie Smith, 1 year for Lovie Smith too. You can't.
But Lovie Smith wins the last one just to screw you out of your draft pick. You know what? The big FU for that. I think that's kind of funny. It's kind of fitting for the Houston Texans, as sad as that is. But I think it's kind of invalid for that to be done. But those are the 3 big headlines that popped across my screen in the last couple hours. Is those things.
Okay.
So it's nice to see.
We have the Alphabets Football Show pick'ems. We playoff pick'ems. Okay. Mm-hmm. Ethan, the wild card weekend, Ethan had won. He had won it. I owe him a hoodie, a Buffalo Bills themed hoodie. If any of y'all want one, a Buffalo Bills themed hoodie, you better let me know while I'm over there and I get the orders in. And then whoever wins the playoff pick'ems, I'm going to give out another Alphabets Football Show hoodie. So make sure you get it's 2 games to pick this week, and then after that we got the Super Bowl. So the Super Bowl is going to be our tiebreaker. So you need to make sure that if you're close, you need to make sure that you're doing your scores for the game. So we only got 2 games.
for the Super Bowl, they have to give me a score.
Gotta
And
have
they have
gotta
to pay attention. And if somebody has picked 45 points total, then you have to pick 46 or 44. So you don't want to wait to the
think the
last.
price is right. Think of the price is right. $1. $1. Well, how much does that? How much does that refrigerator cost? $12.99. I'm gonna $1,300. You know what, Bob? $1, and they get and they win it. That always got me. I'm $1 off over, and you're $1,199, and you get to win it.
Yeah.
But anyways, so here we go. We got 2 picks this week. Gosh, man, normally we're doing 14, 15, 16 games, maybe 12 sometime with the bye weeks. Then the past, what do we have? 4 games last week?
4 games last week.
4 games last week. We're down to the last 4 teams, the semifinals of the NFL playoffs. We've got the NFC Championship, 3:00 Eastern Standard. That's great. That's 1:00 my time. That's Sunday on Sunday.
Yep, on Sunday.
Okay, so Mona. Are you gonna talk into your pick here? Or
Yeah, I would like to go first. If that's okay.
Okay,
That's fine.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Miss
Well,
Bruce Willis, go ahead.
yeah, Q, you're dreaming, buddy. You need to have somebody wake you up. You're not getting Brian Flores. He's the next head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And y'all are only offering defensive coordinator job. And he's already our defensive coordinator. He just probably ain't getting paid. But I figure that's getting ready to happen. I don't think you're going to offer him enough money. But anyway, that being said, look, I like what Purdy's done with San Francisco. I think that the McCaffrey trade absolutely changed the whole outcome of what San Francisco has brought to the league. But I'm not taking the 49ers. I think that the Eagles have 4 defenders who are in double-digit sacks. Reddick, Graham, Javon Hargrave. You're welcome, by the way. He came from Pittsburgh. I'm a little bitter about that one still, just so you know. And Josh Sweat. I think those 3 had like 11 sacks apiece.
Double digits.
But then, listen, even if you were able to keep those guys, they still have Fletcher Cox, who had 7 sacks on the season. They still
and Jordan Davis.
Williams as well, who had 4 sacks on the season. So I'm telling you, this is what you're going to see. I think you're going to see a team who is going to do what I have been waiting to see. I think you're going to see a team blitz the absolute hell the whole game. I think you're going to see them blitzing, and the only way you're not going to see them sending at least 4 every snap. I think they're going to send 4 every snap, and the offensive line is going to get tired, and Purdy's going to get hit, and he's going to make those rookie mistakes. We saw a couple of rookie mistakes from him in the game last week against Dallas's defense. I seen him get rattled a couple of times. Dallas's defense doesn't have the pass rush that the Eagles have. Let's just keep it a buck.
Even with Michael Parsons. No, I totally agree with you, Nolan.
And so I'm taking the Eagles. I think that Jalen Hurts gets it done. Miles Sanders, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. These cats are ready for this game. Believe me, they're ready. They are ready for that next Super Bowl trophy. That's what I think. So, I'm sorry, Marcus.
No, I don't want the Eagles. I don't want any of them to win. I'm torn. Go
ahead, Marcus. I'll let you go next. I want to go last.
Go ahead, give me your score, though, Mona.
Let me give you my score.
Okay.
I want to say 34-17. 21 Eagles.
Are you writing this down, Will?
I
My
can't.
damn pen. My damn pen. I didn't broke my damn pen. Write this down for me, Will, and I'll get you.
I got it.
I'll
text it to you after.
Yeah, do that for me so I can. I like to keep my score. Look,
I got you.
What was your score again, Mona?
34-21. Eagles.
34-21. Okay. 49ers, and when I say this, Marcus, you're just mad because they beat your damn Cowboys. It has nothing to do with that. I think the Eagles, what Howie Roseman has done there, and kept that team good. Let's not forget, just in 2016, they had the number 2 overall pick with Carson Wentz, and they've kept building on that team. They won the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl with the Philly special. And then you go out, third round, draft Jalen Hurts, who everybody was like, well, he can't throw the ball. He's gotten better every year. You've gone out and you've surrounded this kid with firepower. You go and, you make the trade with Dallas in the draft. At number 10, move up from 12 to 10 and draft Devontae Smith, get a receiver. And then you go out in the free agency and you get A.J. Brown, who's had an incredible year. Miles Sanders playing well. One of the best tight ends. We talk about Kelsey and Kittle and Mark Andrews. I think you got to put Dallas Goedert up in there as one of the elite tight ends in the league.
I was going to say he was the third one. That was who I was thinking of. As like those top three. It's Kelsey, Kittle, and Goddard right there.
Goddard, Mark Andrews, and then you go out in free agency. You go get James Bradbury, a shutdown corner from the rival Giants. You go out, go get another shutdown corner, Darius Big Play Slade, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. You make a trade from
in 2 years. You can add Pat Freiermuth to that one.
Okay, and you might be, and then you get you go out, you go get Nakobe Dean, you go out and get Jordan Davis, a space eater in the middle to go, maybe Fletcher Cox's replacement. They've built this team and they're going to be good for a long time. They're going to be really good, and then if you just so happen to make the Super Bowl, or even if you don't make it, you have the number 10 pick in the draft next year. Well, this coming draft, you have the number 2. You have 2.
They're going to get another running back in their draft with that pick.
Well, I just cannot have nothing. Well, you know what? I can never have nothing nice with you. I just can't have nothing nice.
Hey, I gave you Micah Parsons.
He gave me Micah Parsons. I think it's going to be an incredible game. I don't know if 34 points with these defenses here. I totally disagree with my co-host. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game.
The reason why I think that is I think that Eagles defense is going to make Purdy throw interceptions, and they're.
Okay. So you think there'll be a couple of defensive touchdowns?
I think there's going to be at least 2 defensive touchdowns.
Okay, I can ride with that. I'm going to go. See, here's the thing with me. I don't get anything when I win. I don't get a hoodie if I win. I don't get a hoodie, but I still want to win. So I'm going to say a lower scoring defensive game. And I think that the magic runs out on Purdy. And I know the 49ers fans, they're going to be in my inbox. Oh, Marcus, you're just a hater. You're a hater. Bang, bang, 49er gang. I'm going to hear a lot of shit from Amanda Lopez. I'm going to hear a lot of shit from Tito. I'm going to hear a lot of shit from Toby. And that's cool. I'll take it. Low scoring defensive game. 27-25 Philly.
All right. It's my turn.
25 Philly.
My turn. Well, all the fans that you two have turned around and got to hate and throwing the hate and shade at you are all going to join my bandwagon because I'm going for experience and I'm going for a Shanahan in the playoffs. I'm going to root for the 49ers. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Let's go, boys. I'm going to take this because I think that Brock Purdy all he has to do is do the same thing that he had to do last week. Manage the game. I explained last week.
For his life. He didn't play a pass rush he didn't play a pass rush.
I understand that
last week.
So I understand that. But here's the deal. Keep him under 30 passes. Keep him in that 25 to 32 pass window. Get the screen game running. Get the short slants, the crossing routes, the quick stuff. You have Debo. You have Ayuk. You have McCaffrey. You have all these speedsters that can do these things. You have Kittle that can break tackles and bludgeon people to death the way he did last week and the few weeks before and all season long, to be that fact. That defense I'm not worried about. Those two defenses are going to beat the ever-living tar out of these offenses. And that's just how that's going to go. Fred Warner is no slouch. And like we discussed,
you know who the least sacked quarterback in the league is this year?
It's probably Jalen Hurts.
It is.
But that's okay. But I'm also going to look at the experience side of when was the last time Nick Sirianni was actually in this kind of situation. I know Kyle Shanahan has been in this situation. I know his daddy Mike has been in this situation. I know DeMeco Ryans being on the staff when they went the last time. He was there. He was a linebackers coach the last time. He wasn't the defensive coordinator. He was a linebackers coach at that point. So this experience is going to play and pay dividends. This Niner team is built for now, and it's built to win now, and it's built to win even in tough, hostile situations. And yes, they are in Philly, but this team travels well. Both teams have great running games, but I think CMC is that difference maker. I think he is. I think you're going to see these guys focus. And if Purdy makes those mistakes, then that will be the game that cost him. But I think Purdy has the ability to just manage the game well enough that even if he has one turnover, it's not going to hurt the final product. So even if he throws 2 touchdowns and 1 INT, he's not killing the product. There's still a chance. Because I think just like you think Philly's going to get turnovers and touchdowns on defense, I think the Niners are going to do the same thing and fluster Hurts just as much as you think. So Fred Warner can spy just like anybody else. So I think that the game is fairly regular. The game is going to be phenomenal. I think, like Marcus, I think this is a mid to low scoring game, a lower scoring game. I don't think it's going to hit the 30s. I could see why Mona would say that. I could see that if it gets out of hand, it could go up to 34-21 type thing. I could see that. But I'm going to take the Niners, and I'm going to say 49ers 24, Eagles 21.
I think it's going to be a very competitive game. I mean, you just got weapons everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. I think that's the difference.
Defensive weapons, not just offensive weapons.
Yeah.
Both sides. You've got weapons on all sides. And again, both secondaries are phenomenal.
Difference between the two quarterbacks besides experience, the two differences between the two quarterbacks. He doesn't look like he can, but Jalen Hurts can absolutely move the ball with his own.
Take off with his feet. And I mean, look, they held Dak Prescott, they held the Cowboys to 12 points. But like I said, the 49ers defense scored 19 points, and 6 of those points were because of turnovers. So, I mean, that, and then the kicker missing extra points too. But so, that made it a little bit harder. I don't think that they get the 49ers get the breaks that they got against the Cowboys. I just don't think that they get those same breaks against the Eagles. So that's our picks for the NFC Championship. Jumping over to the American Football Conference, Chiefs, Bengals. Mona, you want to go first again?
Yeah. I know that Mahomes is hobbled. I've seen all the hobble crap I've seen online about, that's their excuse on why they're going to end up losing this game to the Cincinnati Bengals. Of course, this was a Bengals fan saying it. Listen, I'm watching this guy doing jump shot passes down the field to Travis Kelce. He's your difference maker in this game. And one thing that I did notice playing against the Jacksonville Jags, the Kansas City Chiefs defense is not the defense you faced last year. They got to Trevor Lawrence. They rattled Trevor Lawrence. And I can tell you, they're going to get to Joe Burrow. You better believe they got a game plan ready for them. You better believe Andy Reid has got the right game plan this year to go up against them with a better defense. And everybody wants to talk about, that's all we heard all year. Mahomes is done. He lost Hill. He's not going to have the team. He's not going to look. The guy's the MVP. He ain't been named it yet, but he's the MVP this year. That's all there is to it. He's the MVP. I got this game 24-21.
24-21. Okay.
Simple.
Another close one here. High ankle sprain for Patrick Mahomes. He was limping around, and he was a trooper last week. They took him out right. He left the field early before the first half was over. I mean, he slammed his helmet down. I mean, you could tell he was pissed off. I didn't know if he was going to come back. Chad Henne came in and played a couple of.
He played 2 series.
He played 2 series.
And
Chad came in and played, took the ball down the field for a touchdown.
Yeah. I mean, he's pretty darn good. But that was against. I think Joe Burrow. In every sport you have a rival. You remember Andre Agassi, Pete Sampras, and Maria Sharapova and the Williams sisters, and in every Ali Frazier, you always have to have that rival. And I think this is the rival. I think a lot of people thought that it was Mahomes versus Allen. I think it's Joe Burrow. I think that's his new rival. Mm-hmm. I think you're going to see this right here, and that's no disrespect to Josh Allen. I mean, Josh Allen has had, not
I think
the
if
playoffs.
one's missing, the other one's going to be there. I think these 3 quarterbacks are going to be tied for the next 10 years together, fighting.
Yeah, we just showed the thing with we just showed the thing with Ben Roethlisberger and
Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, and Tom Brady.
All them guys, it was like every year was those guys. I think this right here is the rivalry for the next 10 to 12 years. I really think it is, and they're going to have to beat the hell out of each other and go back and forth. I don't think Mahomes, a high ankle sprain is not something. And I've played on it, and I didn't play quarterback, but he's going to have to put his foot in the ground. And when you have a high ankle sprain, that is really hard. As a quarterback, you have got to be able to put your foot in the ground to press off and push the ball down the field. And I don't think Mahomes is going to be able to do that. The other thing that makes Mahomes really special is improv. The play breaks down. He'll take off on a 7, 8, 10-yard scramble. Keep it going. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that this year. Now, Cincy's defense isn't some elite defense. They have a couple of players over there. I like Hendrickson. I think he's pretty damn good. BJ Hill, I really like him. They're Eli Apple. Talks a lot.
That man doesn't.
You know what? When you're Eli Apple, you don't get to talk the way you talk. You don't get the.
You got a Super Bowl.
Joe Burrow can talk. Joe Burrow can talk. Jamar Chase can talk. Joe Mixon, when he's like, we're the big dogs up here, before they face the Bills. Joe Mixon, you can talk. T. Higgins, you can talk. Eli Apple, you don't get to talk the way you get the way you're talking. You're lucky to be in the league. You're lucky to be in the league still. Especially after that crap in the Super Bowl last year when Cooper Rush was wearing your ass out and Odell Beckham Jr.
Take advantage of Eli Apple. Think again.
Right.
Yeah. So I just think that the injury to Patrick Mahomes, I don't think it's going to be maybe the first series of the game. I think there's going to be a point in the game where he takes off and runs and he forgets that he has a high ankle sprain and he pulls up a little bit and starts hopping around and maybe the second quarter or something like that. And that's going to be the decisive in the game. I've seen Joe Burrow. I just seen too much from him in a short amount of time. Joe Burrow's different, man. And so is Mahomes, but Joe Burrow's different, and he's beaten Mahomes again and again and again. Another close game, I think Joe Mixon could be the deciding factor. I don't know if the Chiefs' secondary can keep up with Chase and Higgins and Boyd. And then if they get a lead, even a slight lead towards the end of the game, they're going to run the ball at the Chiefs. And I don't know if the Chiefs have faced a running game, a power running game, that AFC North smash mouth, big boy, bully ball football. 24-21 Bengals.
I didn't even wait for you to take your pick. I know who you were taking.
Dalton says, since I did pick Eagles, I'm taking Chiefs 24-20. Want to see Andy Dalton Bowl. Don't want to see 49ers versus Chiefs Super Bowl again.
Andy Reid, not Andy Dalton.
Andy Reid, I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking, Andy Dalton.
All
I
right.
just seen a bunch of red, and I thought
my pick. I'm torn because I don't want either of these teams in. I despise both teams equally. One we beat this season, and if we would have shown up, we probably would have beat them again. But we were eliminated by the other team. So
I don't think you could handle the running game.
I think we could handle the Chiefs. I think we could handle the Chiefs and what they have. We did it earlier in the year. We were fine with it then. I think we could do it again. And we would be at home, by the way.
No, that was going to be in the neutral field.
That would have been
at the neutral field.
That would have been in Atlanta.
I think even in Atlanta, being on a neutral field, you're giving Josh Allen a track meet to run in. No weather. It's an indoor team. You claim they're an indoor team, track meet team. Well, you're just giving them the green light to just go and do what they want to do. But since that's not the case, I've seen what Burrow can do. I see what the defense can do for them. I've seen what their offense can do for them. This is going to be a bitter rival for the next few years, even for the next decade. Josh Allen's going to have his say, but it's not today. I still believe Josh Allen, and I also think if Justin Herbert can get a proper offensive coordinator and a coach in there, I think then he's going to have something to say too.
Jags too.
The Jags are not going anywhere. There's going to be some scary teams here in the next 3 to 5 years. They're not. This AFC is not getting any easier. It's not going to get any easier. It's like the NFC back in the day in the early 90s. It's going to be a bloodbath to get in, and then once you get in, you just hope that you get the best matchup so you could win it. With that being said, Mahomes has been at the facility if he's not in his bed at home all week. He is literally receiving treatment and physical therapy. We're talking 19 hours a day at this point since the day, like literally right after the game, he started treatment. The only time he's done anything is gone out with his other half and his baby. And he went to pick them up and then bring them to treatment so they can hang out and have time together. Otherwise, he's there. They understand what's at stake. Kelsey understands what's at stake. Isaiah Pacheco is a step-up guy. Like this kid, this is where you get to find out really what Isaiah Pacheco is made of. You get to see what Juju Smith-Schuster is made of to see if he can handle all these things and the stress and the anxiety of these levels.
And I know Juju can.
Oh, and I'm well aware. I think he can too as well. But I think it comes down to where Kansas City's defense lies. And Chris Jones can put pressure on anybody just as good as the rest of them can. You talk about Trey Hendricks on the other side for the Cincinnati Bengals. I talk about Chris Jones on Kansas City's side. You're talking about some defenses that are ready to go. Kansas City doesn't have the greatest secondary, but you also have the Bengals with Eli Apple. So you pick your poison. You're going to have your weaknesses. It's which coach can exploit the weakness the fastest and jump on the board, the bandwagon, and get 14 points up. If you can get 10-14 up, just like the Bengals did to the Bills last week, if you can get 14 up, you're putting it in a gun show, and now you're forcing these teams to throw whichever way it goes. Kansas City scores in bunches. We saw them score in 13 seconds. I'm living proof of that. I've seen it. I know it happens. So I'm not going to put it past Kansas City to put points on the board in a hurry. I was leaning Cincinnati earlier in the day, but with just trusting Andy Reid and understanding what Andy Reid is about and what he's looking at, I'm going to have to go Kansas City. I think Kansas City takes the monkey off the back and beats Joe Burrow here in this title game. Remember, this is all fodder for him because Joe Burrow is 3-0 against Kansas City, and he's done it in the AFC title game. So you talk about Allen having a hard time getting over that mountain. Well, here's your prove it mountain. Let's see it for a second year in a row, and let's see what Kansas City's good for. I don't think, and again, here I'll reach to Marcus's point here real quick before I pick score. But you talk about Mahomes having to plant that foot. How many times has he thrown off the other foot and still put it 55 yards down the field? How many times has he thrown sidearm randomly and still put it 35 yards down the field to Kelsey? How many times has he shoveled past it to Kelsey right at the goal line? These are the things he doesn't have to worry about. He's got the screen game. He's got Pacheco on the short range. He's got Kelsey who's going to be there for everything that he needs. I'm not worried about Mahomes and the ankle. He's going to have 2 weeks after this to rest it even more. He'll get more treatment, more rest, more rehab. All that stuff is going to be there. I think Mahomes' ankle is fine. I think he's going to be tender and sore. He's probably going to get a shot, and then he's going to run the game and go do what he can. Get another shot at halftime. I've got Kansas City 28. I got Bengals 24. So 28-24, Kansas City over.
Okay. There you have it. I am ecstatic for these games. I'll probably, depending on what's going on, after we'll probably do something live before. I'll probably do a live stream right before the game, and I will definitely do a live stream after the game, and then preview the second game, and then have another live stream. I'll be probably doing 3 live streams on Sunday. So if y'all want to come in and chop it up, y'all will get an alert whenever we go live. If my co-host, if she's well enough, she'll be in here. I'm trying not to work her too much. I need her to recover because she didn't say Rocky Blyer, and I'm about to call my lawyer on her and sue her. So anyways,
I apologize. I did not say Rocky Blyer.
But now she did, and now we're
I
good.
have now said it. So
there you go. We didn't get to do the way you feel about Aaron Rodgers with the scruffy look. That's the way you feel, that's the way I feel about when you say Rocky Blyer.
You know what?
Saying.
Sunday I'm gonna wear my Aaron Rodgers jersey.
You wear Aaron Rodgers jersey
For our little lives. For our
Okay.
little live shows.
With him in the background. Is that how this works?
So if y'all want to
if
chop it
in
up,
the background, I wouldn't be on the show. Sorry.
if y'all want to chop it up on Sunday, like I said, we'll probably open up a StreamYard if y'all want to come in on Sunday and talk about it. I'm sure some of y'all will probably be making some wagers and stuff. We're gonna have a good old time. We're gonna have a good old time. We're about to shut it down. Make sure you get your picks in for that Alphabets Football Show hoodie. If you want an Alphabets Football Show hoodie, get with me. I'm trying to send everything out. Next week, I'm sending everything out because I'm waiting. I got to send off something for my guy Otis. We did a onesie for his new son. Congratulations to Otis Sanders, my resident Cleveland Browns fan, and your new son Apollo. Great name, by the way. I thought you were going to name him Otis Jr. I'm glad you decided not to do that. So, Will, last words, and we're going to get up out of here.
Let me see. 1 second. I have my excitement starts in 91 days. The NFL draft is in 91 days. So that's what I am excited for. The NFL season.
It's in Kansas City this year.
It is in Kansas City this year. It is a 3-day extravaganza. April 28th through the May 1st, I think is what it is. Or April 29th through May 1st. So it's that way. It's that last weekend in April. But yes, no, the NFL draft is coming. I'm looking forward to seeing all the picks. I'll be working on my stuff on the side. I'll be doing my research like I normally do every year. And I'll be trying to bring
Pittsburgh has
my pick.
4 draft picks in the first 2 rounds. 2 in the first and 2 in the second.
Yeah, you're right up there with Houston having 5 in the first 3 rounds, basically.
Yep. Well,
so
actually,
there's some teams going to be out there, and we're going to have some reaches.
Actually, it's one in the first, and then we have the very first pick of the second round, and then 2 more in the second round.
I'm going to have to get with Ricky Bobby and see if he's going to be there. A lot of times when I don't know if he lives in Kansas City, but he
not too
since it's in Kansas City, he may be going. I'll have to check with him and see.
He's got a new baby. He ain't going to the.
Yeah, probably not. We appreciate everybody who's tuned in tonight. Appreciate all the prayers from my co-hosts. Get with me if you want hoodies. Get with me if you want bottles. My Eagles bottle turned out real nice.
Keep picking on him if you hate the Cowboys.
I hate
it. Tony needs to get a new kicker.
It really bothered me to make that bottle, but that's for Gary.
Keep forcing him to defend Dak Prescott over and over again.
Making me defend Dak Prescott. Appreciate everybody out there. Like and share. Join the group. Subscribe to the channel. This show will be up in the next couple of days if you want to go back and rewatch it. Okay. Yeah. Appreciate everybody. Thank you. We do this. We're not making money. We just like talking football. So, I enjoy this. I look forward. It's Friday night. We could be doing anything else. We're up in here, talking football with you guys. So we appreciate anybody who shows up. I know people are out on dates and all of that good stuff. So I hope everybody has a good weekend. We'll see y'all back again. I'll be live streaming on Sunday, and we'll chop it up. Okay.
Yes, sir.
See ya.
Count up. Count up. Count up. I'm talking 1 milli, 2 milli, 3 milli, 4 billy, 5 billy. I'm illy. Money bag after money bag, I'm the man now. Play the cards that I was dealt and I ain't need no handouts. Fresh on every set, give respect. Mama out of debt, got a new connect. We the best, homie run the check. Wifey got a new bag, new house. You mad? We just doing us, feeling wavy. Fuck a do-rag. This that no stress flow. Bobbing on my ex. She don't love cash, kiss my ass, baby XO. Thank you for that line, Mr. West, but I'm next though. Hey, you meet a sad bitch, I'm blessed, sipping XO. For the love of money, I stay fucking hungry. I parted ways with the kitchen, that just wasn't for me. Every show they love me, now I'm showing love back. They ain't taking nothing from me, so I throw a couple stacks. You when I'm in your town, have some fun, blow it back. Fuck with me when I'm around, trust me, shorty, I'll be back. I've been on the come up, running till the ones go. Boy, I got that one up, hustle when the funds low. Sundown, the sun up, all I want is the cash. Now, homie, run me the stash. Put the ones in the bag, now count up.